Shalom, everybody. Good afternoon. Alright, so today we'll be starting out of Your Best Life Begins Each Morning. Granted, it is the afternoon, but I'm sure it'll still apply. October 21st. Start where you are. Proverbs 19:17. He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward him for what he has done. You may be thinking, well, if I had more money, I would give. No, you have to start right where you are. You must be faithful with what you have. Then God will trust you with more. You may not have much money, but you can buy somebody's dinner every once in a while. You can give somebody a kind word. You can go out of your way to pray for somebody in need. Giving is a spiritual principle. Whatever you give will be given back to you. If you give a smile, you will receive smiles from others. If you are generous to people in their time of need, God will make sure that other people are generous to you in your time of need. What you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. And then I will read out of, this is the 1 Year Love Language Minute Devotional. From Chapman. So we may not all be married, because I'm not, but I still find ways to apply the devotional. God's faithfulness for a difficult marriage. Lamentations 3:21 through 23. Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I'm often asked a variation on this question. We got married because I was pregnant, and now I feel like I have made a big mistake. Can I get a divorce, or do I stick it out? If so, where do I begin? This question assumes that there are only two alternatives. Stay in the marriage and be miserable the rest of your life, or get a divorce and be happy. I suggest that there is a third alternative that offers far more hope. Work to build a successful marriage. Many people get married in less than ideal circumstances. For some, it is pregnancy. For others, it is emotional dependency, desire to get out of a bad home situation, misguided romantic feelings, and any number of other factors. Getting off to a rocky start or getting married for the wrong reasons does not mean that you cannot have a good marriage. Any couple can build a successful marriage if they will seek God's help. Through prayer, reading the scriptures and Christian books on marriage, and getting wise counsel, you can have a growing marriage. The prophet Jeremiah pens some beautiful inspirational words in the book of Lamentations. No matter what the circumstances, and Israel's were pretty dire at the time of this prophecy, the Lord is faithful. He gives new mercies every day. There is always hope with him. God can bring healing to past failures and supply hope for the future. Father, I am so grateful for your faithful love that never fails in the midst of my marriage struggles. I thank you for giving me hope. Nothing is too hard for you. Please help me to commit to doing whatever I can to improve my marriage, knowing that you desire us to have a strong, godly relationship. Work in me, Lord, I pray. Next, we are going to read out of Where God Leads, I Will Follow. Count the cost. Romans 8:18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Make sure you know what you're doing, or what you're getting into. Anytime we make a decision that could greatly alter the course of our lives, someone is bound to offer this advice. Jesus also cautioned the crowds trailing him not to take up his cause lightly. In Luke 14, Jesus tells of a builder who wisely estimates the cost of the tower he wants to construct to determine whether he can afford to complete it. Jesus warns that laying the foundation without adequate funds will lead to ridicule when the builder is unable to finish. As disciples of Christ, we aren't promised trouble-free or even comfortable lives, but he does offer something more satisfying. Jesus asks that we surrender our will in exchange for his peace, but his peace isn't like the counterfeit confidence we manufacture. His peace radiates into our souls like warm sunshine regardless of the storms howling around us. And with his peace, he offers more than the whole world. He holds out eternity. The Apostle Paul had done his due diligence. He said, "For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain." Philippians 1:21. He knew that in life he could further expand God's kingdom, that in death he would gain heaven and forever be with his Lord. He didn't allow the temporary pleasures of this fleeting life to render him spiritual nearsighted. Giving it all up to follow Jesus might seem like a foolishly high price to pay in the world's eyes, because the world serves the gods of wealth, power, and ego. But Paul knew that God was pleased through the foolishness of what was preached to save those who believe. 1 Corinthians 1:21. Choosing to be a servant in the master's castle rather than building our own empires will always seem foolish to the world. Have you counted the cost? Are you willing to stick with Jesus no matter the price? Consider wisely. Your eternity hangs in the balance. Continuing on, out of Grace for the Moment, do something. James 2:26. Faith that does nothing is dead. Faith is not the belief that God will do what you want. Faith is the belief that God will do what is right. God is always near and always always available, just waiting for your touch, so let him know. Demonstrate your devotion. Write a letter. Ask forgiveness. Be baptized. Feed a hungry person. Pray. Teach. Go. Do something that demonstrates faith. For faith with no effort is no faith at all. God will respond. He has never rejected a genuine gesture of faith. Never. From Keeping God in the Small Stuff, comfort others. One of the reasons God comforts us is so that we can comfort others. There are certain things God gives us that we couldn't possibly give to others. For example, God saves us by his grace, but there's no way we can save anyone else. Nor can we heal others, give others a future and a hope, or forgive sins. We accept those things and thank God for them, knowing they can't be duplicated. There are other things that God gives us that he expects us to give to others. Forgiveness is one of those things. God expects us to forgive others just as he has forgiven us. Matthew 6:14. God loves us, and he expects us to love others. 1 John 4:11. God also comforts us, and he expects us to comfort others. If God has given you a lot of comfort in your life, it means you have done a lot of suffering. Now use your experiences to help relieve the suffering of others. Job 16:5. I would speak in a way that helps you. I would try to take away your grief. Next, out of Family Feelings, we have Fans Don't Boo Nobodies, Reggie Jackson. When something we do attracts unfavorable attention, it can stir up old feelings. We feel guilty for attracting attention even more than we feel ashamed of the negative comments. These feelings may come from early childhood, from caregivers who smacked the squeaky wheels and rewarded the quiet ones. They taught us not to stand out from the crowd. Any strong position will meet opposition on any question, political, social, why you liked a certain movie, or the best way to make hash browns. But if you take a public stand, you need to be serene within yourself to endure the boos as well as the applause. I'm the same person, whether other people praise or blame me. Their opinions don't change me, any more than the wind changes grass. It isn't wrong to stand up for our beliefs, even if they're unpopular. Maybe especially if they're unpopular. When we know we're doing what is right for us, we'll be strong enough to hear the reactions of others without being swayed by them. Thought for today. My source of spiritual guidance will steady me when I feel blown about by opposition. From Dear Jesus, we have, do not seek approval in the mirror or in the eyes of other people. In my presence you have infinite approval. Dear Jesus, it's so easy for me to judge myself on the basis of what I see in the mirror. I know that it's fickle and shallow because my mirror image is always changing. I'm equally enslaved to viewing myself through the eyes of other people. I tend to evaluate my interpersonal performance rigorously, and I am almost always displeased with something I have said or done. I desperately desire to experience your approval. Beloved, enslaved is an appropriate word to use. You are indeed a slave when you try to see and judge yourself through people's eyes. Evaluating your worth on the basis of how you look to yourself or to others is always a trap. It's as if you are sifting sand, searching for gold, yet looking only at the grains of sand filtering through the sieve, ignoring the gold nuggets that remain. The gold represents the eternal part of you, your soul. It is invisible to everyone but me, the one who plans to spend eternity with you. Though invisible, a well-nurtured soul can actually improve your appearance. As you rest in the certainty of my unfailing love, your face glows with the joy of my presence. My approval of you is infinite, because it will continue forever. It is based entirely on my righteousness, which is yours for all eternity. When you look in a mirror, try to see yourself as you truly are, arrayed in perfect righteousness, adorned in glowing approval. Psalm 90:14. Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad in all our days. Psalm 21:6. Surely you have granted him eternal blessings and made him glad with the joy of your presence. And Isaiah 61:10. I delight greatly in the Lord, my soul rejoices in my God. For he has clothed me with garments of salvation and arrayed me in a robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom adorns his head like a priest, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. And then last one for the day, out of Jesus Calling, we have, to live in my presence consistently, you must expose and expel your rebellious tendencies. When something interferes with your plans or desires, you tend to resent the interference. Try to become aware of each resentment, however petty it may seem. Don't push those unpleasant feelings down. Instead, let them come to the surface where you can deal with them. Ask my Spirit to increase your awareness of resentful feelings. Bring them boldly into the light of my presence so that I can free you from them. The ultimate solution to rebellious tendencies is submission to my authority over you. Intellectually, you rejoice in my sovereignty, without which the world would be a terrifying place. But when my sovereign will encroaches on your little domain of control, you often react with telltale resentment. The best response to losses or thwarted hopes is praise. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Remember that all good things, your possessions, your family and friends, your health and abilities, your time, are gifts from me. Instead of feeling entitled to all these blessings, respond to them with gratitude. Be prepared to let go of anything I take from you, but never let go of my hand. Psalm 139:23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. 1 Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand. And Job 1:21. And he said, the Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be his glorious name. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Autumn Rose signing off.